I should not have smelled this, Matt.
You should not have.
I don't want to film this anymore.
Yeah.
Hello. Welcome on into another episode of the Whiskey Crusaders. I'm Will.
I'm Matt.
On this Saturday's The Core series, we're going to be drinking Leblon.
Cachaca?
Cachaca?
I don't know. Let's put this thing in Google.
Cachaca.
Cachaca. It's Cachaca. Yeah, sure. Cachaca. Anyway. It's Cachaca from Brazil. It's required to call Brazilian rum up to 2013, but it's different. It's made with sugarcane, not molasses like rum is. But they actually finally won their lawsuit. Now they call it Cachaca because prior to that, it had to have Brazilian rum actually listed on the bottle. But it's found in the little core section, so it was a bizarre, weird thing. But anyway, since it was created 100 years even prior to rum, and it's the third most drank spirit in the world. So this is kind of wild that it took that long to get their own designation.
Wow.
It starts with the fine sugarcane in the fields. And it's sugarcane prior to being in Brazil was mostly made on the Madeira Islands off of Portugal, which I didn't know, which is very interesting. And so when the Portuguese came and settled Brazil in the 16th century, they brought cachaca. It's made with pot stills, and they actually brought the pot stills from Madeira in 1532 to make this specific spirit, which is kind of cool. It is Brazil with cane sugar juice. It's only made in Brazil. It has to be made between 38 and 48% alcohol and only have up to 6 grams of sugar per liter. Let's see. But if you make it at home, you can do whatever the hell you want, apparently. So apparently, I guess it must be home distilling must be legal there, I guess. 1.3 billion liters of this are made a year. That's insane. And 99% of it is consumed in Brazil. The other 1% is exported mostly to Germany, which is insane. It says there's different types of it. Many of them are bottled either at unaged or a few months. Some are up to 15 years, though, for an ultra, aged fine one. There's 40,000 different producers of this in Brazil. That's insane.
For a spirit I've never heard of.
Yeah, that's, like I said, third most drank in the world that we've never drank prior to this day. Now, you might have heard of it in a Brazilian restaurant like Texas Day Brazil or one of those type places, those all-you-can-eat, meat places. In fact, it was banned in Brazil for a while because it was competing with Grappa in Europe, and they told them, the sellers, they couldn't make it anymore. But what they did is they changed it to 2,000 different names that would go by it. It was still the same product, just so that they would screw with the Westerners. Like, that's hilarious.
You don't want us to make that? That's fine. We make this other thing instead. Okay.
Same thing, exactly. Just all right. So this one is 40%. So at least proof is nice. Yeah. Oh, that's a beautiful face. All right. This particular company started in 2005. It is fresh pressed cane juice, micro distilled and Alambique copper stills, as the Maison Leblon Patos de Minas is rested for 6 months in cognac casks. So what they do is special is they don't crush their sugar cane. They just kind of gently press it out, so it's a little bit finer process when they do it. All their sugarcane is hand cut with machetes, brought to the distillery, and then they distill it. Fermented for 20 to 24 hours. Then pot distilled, barrel aged for 6 months. Then the master distiller decides, hey, it's ready. They blend them all together. Like I said, it's up in the highlands country of sugarcane in Brazil, so that's kind of their thing. They say they should choose to drink this neat with fruit juices or in another word I cannot pronounce, which is a Caipirinha. Sure, good enough. It's the Brazilian national drink. So anyway, it's made with 4 lime wedges, 2 teaspoons of superfine sugar in a rocks glass. Add 2 ounces of this, shake it, and they also make a reserve and a one with aki berry. So that's very interesting. Apparently, they can also make this cocktail with just about any other, limes was what most of them do, but they also make raspberries, blackberries, blood oranges, pineapples, ginger, spice, all sorts of fun things. So it's made with lots of cool stuff. So like I said, let's see what this wonderful thing smells like. Based on Will's reaction, he's hating it already.
It's
that's
very
weird.
Sour lime.
Ooh.
It's definitely gone bad.
That's weird.
It's a moldy sour lime that's been sitting underneath the counter, but somebody took it and cut open it anyway.
This is weird. I can get a little bit of that hint of that cognac and the sugarcane, but mostly, like you said, it's like weird decomposing fruit.
Yeah, there's sugary in there for sure.
Yeah, that's weird. I've had this drink before. I know when I've been to like Texas Day Brazil, and it was pretty good. But on its own, this is a weird thing. It's not, it's not horrible.
It's just
weird.
It's just big and it's aggressive.
Yeah, that 40 lets you know it is 40, which is high for a liqueur being 80 proof. All right, let's see if it tastes any different. How does it taste? Sugarcane, hints of cognac, black pepper. Much better on the palate. Less revolting, for sure.
It almost tastes like new make.
Oh, yeah.
There's a new make whiskey to
they actually talk about that as A to V, as like they do this in the French style of cognac when they distill this.
Okay.
So this actually is pretty nice on the palate. It's not bad at all.
It doesn't have any of that drastic nose it has. This is very subtle on the palate, with the sugarcane really being the forefront of everything. There's a little bit of that, I want to call it a citrus fruit in the background there. Yeah. I'm going to go back in for another sip, actually.
Oh, lemon, lime, a little grapefruit. It's not bad.
It's not pleasant to me. The nose itself is not pleasant.
No, the blood is not. I agree. I'm not a fan of the nose. Taste not bad at all.
I'm going back in. I'm getting a blood orange in the nose now.
Okay, yeah, I could see that.
Still just that rotten lime in the nose.
Yeah, the nose is not appetizing. The taste is pretty good. I think I could drink this if you just get past the nose. I mean, I think in a rocks class, which is going to spread it out anyway, I don't think you have to worry about the nose so much. Especially if you're going to mix this with lime or a fruit. I think it'd be pretty damn good.
Yeah, and over a big cube would, again, just null down a lot of the smells that are coming off of it.
Absolutely.
I would really like to know what this would taste like in 10, 12, 15 years. I would love to be able to taste an aged version of this, because to me, this kind of goes down a new make whiskey path. That I feel like some of that youngness could get very well helped by some age and a
Agree. Yeah. All right. Pretty good.
This is interesting.
Yeah, definitely. I'd like to see an aged version. Agree. That'd be fun.
Yeah. Don't forget to hit that like and subscribe button. Click that notification bell so that if we get our hands on some of that aged stuff, you don't miss that video. But until next time.
This was also a donation by my sister-in-law, Shauna Zitrick. I forgot to mention that.
Thank you, Shauna. I appreciate you.
Yes, thanks, Shauna. Appreciate it.
Until next time, keep on crusading for better liquids in your glass. Cheers.
All right, we are ready. This is Whiskey Crusaders. Is that what it said? Cachaca. Cool. Leblon Cachaca. Sure.
Not Cachaca.
This is gonna get fucked up.
3, 2.